Hi guys, you might be here because you want to learn more about how to make rosin, or you may have never even heard of rosin. Well, not to worry, because we're here to tell you everything there is to know about rosin. The substances that come from cannabis, including cannabis concentrates, are insanely potent and insanely euphoric. One of these is, of course, rosin. Rosin is part of the cannabis concentrate family, and today we'll be telling you how to make it for yourself. Some use a rosin press, but others have DIY methods. We're going to take you through the various ways to make rosin and eventually conclude which is the most efficient way, so stay tuned. First up, let's talk about cannabis. It comes in many shapes and sizes, and these forms have increased in the last decade or so. In its simplest and purest form, cannabis is a plant. It has around 400 compounds. 100 of these are referred to as cannabinoids, and 160 of these are referred to as terpenes. Terpenes are responsible for the aromas and flavors of cannabis. On the other hand, cannabinoids are responsible for the effects of cannabis. Cannabinoids react with the body's endocannabinoid system, which affects the brain's neurological pathways. This can alter someone's appetite, mood, muscles, and pain sensors. CBD and THC are two of the most well-known and prominent cannabinoids within cannabis. However, I should make it clear that CBD is not a psychoactive substance, which means it doesn't have significant mind-altering effects. However, it can help with pain, relaxation, and focus. On the other side, you have THC, which is a psychoactive substance. THC is popular for its euphoric effects and is known to cause that high that lots of recreational cannabis users desire. Moving on to THC. The percentage of THC in a product is what adds to its potency. In fact, in the UK, any substance that contains more than 0.2% THC is currently illegal. This goes to show the fear that the UK government has of this substance, although there's no doubt that this fear is old-fashioned and unwarranted. Each form of cannabis has an average THC percentage that it usually contains. Dry buds, which you vape or smoke, on average contain anywhere from 10 to 20% THC. Edibles such as space cakes or cannabutter usually contain around 40% THC. Then there are cannabis concentrates which contain around 70% THC. Let's talk more about cannabis concentrates. The simplest description of cannabis concentrates is that they are an especially concentrated version of cannabis. Using heat, pressure, and sometimes solvents, cannabis concentrates are a family of various substances that are especially potent. There are lots of different types of cannabis concentrates, and they've all been coined elaborate names. Perhaps some of the most well-known ones are hash, rosin, wax, and shatter. Rosin, wax, and shatter are all sort of similar, but they have mildly identifiable differences. The truth is, many cannabis enthusiasts love concentrates because of their potency and precision. It takes time and care to make them, and therefore usually the more esteemed cannabis lovers make them. One of those incredible concentrates is rosin. Now, let's see what rosin specifically is. Rosin is a cannabis concentrate that is very similar to shatter and wax. It's often golden in colour and is created through dry bud being heated and pressured. The bud is often placed on a hot surface and squashed by something at high heat. This will decarboxylate the cannabis and leave a sort of golden liquid residue. This substance, as stated before, is extremely potent. Rosin is especially popular because it's one of the cannabis concentrates that doesn't require chemicals or solvents to create it. While some require butane or propane to form them, rosin only needs heat and pressure. This is why people so commonly look to rosin when thinking of a cannabis concentrate to create. So, what is the best method to make rosin? As I mentioned before, in order to make rosin, you need pressure, heat, and cannabis buds. Because of this, there are two main ways to make rosin. One is a lot cheaper but will lead to a worse product. The other is initially more expensive but will lead to a higher yield and better product. We will go through these two alternative methods and discuss the difference in yields that they have. First up, the hair straightener method. This method is the DIY extravaganza. Using a hair straightener to make rosin may sound mad, but actually it makes complete sense. A hair straightener has exactly what you need to make rosin: heat and pressure. What you'll need is a hair straightener, preferably with heat controls, 2 grams of bud, parchment paper, and a knife or dabber to collect the rosin. Now, the only problem with using hair straighteners is that, surprisingly, they weren't made to make cannabis concentrates. They were made to straighten hair. Because of this, you won't usually have the full heat controls on the device. Plus, you'll have to use your hands to create pressure, and therefore you won't be able to monitor the pressure through a pressure gauge. Nonetheless, most hair straighteners will have a low, medium, and high setting. So start off with a low setting and then slowly get higher. But first, place your cannabis buds in between 2 pieces of parchment paper. Then place it on your device and press the hair straighteners down together. Press for 30 seconds at a low heat, then stop and press again for 30 seconds at a medium heat, then stop and press again for 30 seconds at a high heat. At this point, you should have all the rosin that you're going to yield. Carefully take the waste cannabis bud off the parchment paper until you only have the golden, sticky liquid. Carefully use your dabber or knife to scrape off the rosin and place it somewhere safe. Also, before you try this method, please be careful when pressing on the straighteners so that you don't burn yourself. Now, let's compare it to the rosin press method. It's thought that the average yield from a rosin press is around 20%. Alternatively, with hair straighteners, you're looking at around 10%. Therefore, if you're pressing 2 grams with a rosin press, you'll get about 0.4 grams of rosin. This, in the long run, is considered to be more cost-effective than perhaps wasting it with hair straighteners, especially if you're making more over a longer period of time, but that is for you to decide. For this method, you will need a rosin press, parchment paper, and a dabber or knife. Firstly, as you did before, place your cannabis buds between 2 pieces of parchment paper. Make sure it's evenly distributed and not too bunched together, but don't worry, you don't need to grind it. However, if you would like to, then we recommend that you use one of our pre-pressed molds to make your puck. You can check this out on our website. Next, turn your rosin press on. They will all work slightly differently, but will all have full temperature control. Try 150 degrees as a recommended heat. Similarly, place the lever down and hold it for 30 seconds. Do this twice. That should get your full yield produced. After this, scrape your rosin from the parchment paper and enjoy your concentrate. There are many ways that you can use rosin. You can smoke rosin in a joint, vape it in a dry herb vape, sprinkle it on top of a bowl of flour, dab it, or even add it directly into your food to make edibles. Make sure to consume this substance with caution, especially if it's your first time. But most importantly, enjoy yourself and your experience. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you would like to take a look at our rosin presses or dry herb vapes, then please check them out at our website. If you enjoyed this video, then be sure to hit the bell button to receive notifications when new videos come out. And please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thanks again, and hope to see you back here soon.